Okay. And now it should just, and now you're live on YouTube.
Hey guys, this is Mark Shawson, the Pattern Trader. I'm, just doing a live session here to answer any questions.
I don't think anyone's in the live stream yet, Mark.
I know. So where will I see them?
So top left-hand corner. Why don't you make that screen large first of all, like you're there? Okay, and yeah, just wait for the live stream to begin. There's one person in here.
Where? I don't see it. Oh, there,
top
yeah.
Left-hand corner, yeah, two now. All right, so I'm gonna jump off.
Just stay with me, Neela. Okay. So, hey guys, this is Mark Shawson, the Pattern Trader, just here to answer any questions you might have. So, where would I see the questions, Neelis?
Bottom right-hand corner. You see it says like, say something. The questions will pop up there. It's a live chat. So yeah, I mean, there's no questions at the moment, but yeah, so you would type something there, and they can also type something if they're on their computer or on a phone. So I want to do this.
Hi guys, if you have any questions about the markets, about trading, this is just an informal little get together. Can somebody please confirm if they can see and hear my screen clearly? So I'm not getting any interaction here, Neelis.
The market, the stream's only just begun.
Okay, there. Okay, there. Okay, yep, all good. All right, guys. Hi, San. Hi, Scobie. Hey, Phil. How you doing?
Okay, Mark, I'm gonna jump off now.
All right. Hey, Ference. Okay. We got a Jeek. We've got Jeff. Vivian says yes, all good. All right, guys. This is just an informal get together, a little question and answer session. I'll take any questions you have about any market. I'd like to know what you guys are trading. So Mr. Ricky says your Euro US dollar sell stop got triggered today. Yes, it did. So I had a pending order below the low of yesterday. It's about 119.07. We're trading about 119 even. So this is a good example of my trading strategy. I went to a live session last night. I think, Vivian, you were on it. And basically, I have a 4-step trading methodology, all based on price action and price pattern. So I require first to see the trend or a pattern. Then I look for a setup bar, what I call my insurance day bar, either a key reversal or an inside bar. And then I finish it off with an execution strategy that requires me to put a buy stop or sell stop under a market, where a sell stop under a market I'm looking to sell, or a buy stop above a market that I'm looking to buy. In the case of the euro, I saw a double top price pattern at about the 122.5 to 123. Double tops don't have to be exactly symmetrical. The peaks don't have to be in the same place. We had one peak around 123.5 and another peak around 122.5. And we formed this M top pattern. We broke below the neckline, which is simply a line drawn under the pattern. And then I observed what I call my inside day bar, where yesterday's range from high to low was inside the range of the previous day's bar. And so basically, I don't sit in front of a screen. I don't have Bollinger Bands. I don't, try and guess what's going on. I just basically put a sell stop under the low of yesterday's bar around 119.07. And, if the market went up, then I would never have been triggered. But as it turns out, somewhere along the market day, I wasn't even watching it. My market got, triggered in there. And now I'm just automatically in the market. Now I have a stop loss behind it around 119.70 or so. And now I'm just going to see where it goes. And every day I'll manage that trade. So Mr. Ricky said, how far do you think Euro US dollar will go? I think it'll go back down to the support around 116. So we have about 300 pips between where we are now and, that objective. And so I have a stop loss at about 60 pips higher than where I got in. And if the market, if the euro goes to my profit target, I'll have a 5-to-1 risk reward. I risked about 60 pips. And if I make 300 pips, that's a 5-to-1 risk reward, where my reward is 5 times the amount that I risk. And if you can do this on all your trades, you'll never lose, because that means you can lose 4 out of 5 trades and still be, a winner. So Nadeem says, what's the Euro USD target? So there is support around 116. I think that it will challenge that support area. So Natasha says, do you think it's safe to say that by judging the NASDAQ, it keeps hitting down and rejecting, hopefully if it rejects. So the NASDAQ, is really at an inflection point. I put up a chart, yesterday in my live session. We are at a real inflection point. And by definition, an inflection point is, if it doesn't go down now, it's going to go up. So we broke out of an ascending, broadening price pattern and also a head and shoulders price pattern. And both of those suggest that the NASDAQ should go lower. But, what I've learned over many decades of trading is that I put up my chart patterns and then I see how the market plays within the chart pattern. So right now, what appears to be bearish price patterns are not being observed. I mean, the NASDAQ is up dramatically today and it's showing strength. And so, I usually wait and see how a market closes. Well, like I saw, the euro yesterday. So I'm going to see how we close today. We shot up, and for right now, we're trading, much higher than I thought it should go. So if it was going to observe the patterns, to my mind, we shouldn't see the kind of market action we're seeing today. But, that's why I wait till the end of the day to see where it closes. And if the NASDAQ closes on the high of the day, around here or higher, then those bearish price patterns that I was looking at are probably not in force and effect anymore. And, I'll revisit this thing. So my objective is to take a piece of the middle out of a move. I shorted the NASDAQ 3 weeks ago on February 19th when the QQQs, which is an ETF that tracks the NASDAQ, was trading around 334. The QQQs dropped to 297. It fulfilled what I was looking at, it was on, head and shoulders. And it dropped, 37 points, about 15% move on the NASDAQ. I usually try and take a piece of the middle. I ended up taking, just about every scrap off the table of that move. And now I'm just going to, watch to see what it does and, reestablish. Right now I have a short position in GameStop. I bought some far in the money puts last week. Initially, I bought a $340 put when the stock was about $280. And then when we had what I call a key reversal on Friday, where the market went to a new high, it went to about $280, and then it closed around $260. Based on it closing on the low of the day, I upped my ante. I bought some more put options on GameStop. Again, deep in the money puts. I bought the 310s. And the way what I paid for it, my break even was about 240 on the stock. Yesterday, the stock dropped about $50. Today, it's dropped about $50. And so I'm in, making some money on those put options, but not as much as I would have if I bought out of the money puts. So Jeff says, any perspective on pound yen? So I'm really looking at these yen trades. I've been long euro yen and pound yen, but since they're trading at such heavy resistance levels, I suggested to our members to hop out of that. Turned out for the euro yen, it was a good deal because we've dropped quite considerably today on the euro yen. I'm not sure if this is just a respite at the resistance level, or we're going to turn down from here. So right now we've hit 152 on the pound yen. We've got huge resistance in pound yen from about 152 to 155. So I basically hopped out of that and I'm going to take a look at it. The yen trades are at a huge inflection point where, I'm going to take a look if it snaps back in their long-term trends. Most of the yen pairs have been trading downwards for decades now. And I don't know if we're looking at a paradigm shift where now the yen trades are going to start turning around. But I hopped out of my long euro yen and pound yen yesterday. And I'm just going to kind of take a look of how it, holds in here. So if pound yen just kind of doesn't sell off and just keeps, consolidating, then it looks like it's going to be good for another push higher. So Ajik says, what do you think about XAU USD? That is spot gold. There was a reversal last week on gold. And, I think we're just treading water. I think gold still has to go lower. We're trading about 1735 right now. Like I said, we had a reversal last week where the market went to a new low at around 1670 and then closed at the high. So whenever I see these reversal bars, it does put a little bit of underlying support under there. But I do think gold will eventually roll over. I think, if we got another shot up to 1750, I would take another whack at shorting it. But again, I don't just arbitrarily go in at a level. I would look at a level and then see how the price action behaved at that level. Tony says, what's your take on pound US dollar? So the pound has been behaving, very well, but I think the dollar, has exhibited some support. There's a major support line right here at the dollar index, right where we're resting. And so I think we could just continue to back and fill. I think there's a bit of a flight to quality right now with the U.S. Treasuries trading 160 on the 10-year. I think, some people are going to the sidelines taking some safety. And I think that's why we're seeing a bit of an uptick in the dollar. I do expect the dollar to go down long term, but we could spend weeks and even months going kind of in a sideways configuration here. So it looks like the pound, hit some resistance on its upside at 142. We had a huge, what I call key reversal bar. And now it's a question of, do we just consolidate here? And the longer we consolidate, then it'll, make a push for, a higher move. But, we could start leaking. There's a powerful uptrend line on the pound dollar that we're just trading. And if we start to trade underneath there, you could get a snap back down to 135. So I think, the dollar's got a bit of support here, which means that the pound might have some resistance up here. We might have to have a snap back to the breakout area, which is around 135, at which point I would probably reload on the upside. Phil says, because markets fall much faster than they usually go up, are you ever nervous when buying? It's kind of an odd question. I mean, the stock market's been going up forever. So basically, I don't have opinions. I don't get nervous. I make risk reward assessments every day only based on price. So if there's a pattern, like I saw in euro versus US dollar, then I have what I call my insurance day bar in the form of an inside bar. And then I confirm it by putting a sell stop underneath it. And if the market goes through there, then it's likely that the momentum is favorable to me. And then I have a stop loss behind it. And if it doesn't work out, I just go on to the next one. So I don't get nervous about anything. To me, it's all about risk and reward. And, sometimes when I see something that is a really good setup, like I thought I saw on the NASDAQ a few weeks ago, then I kind of load up a little bit more than I ordinarily do. But typically I, tell our members to risk 0.5% on each trade. So in the trade last night where we went short the euro versus the US dollar at, 119.07 or whatever it was, I had a stop loss behind it about 60 pips higher. And so some people say, well, I could never take a, 60 pip risk on my trade. It's just too big. Yeah, if you trade your normal size position, it is too big. And that's why you need to trade smaller sizes. There is, a risk calculator that you can size your trades. And, you should equate your risk, whatever your size position, it should equal, 0.5% of your overall account size. So, if you're trading $10,000 and you lose $50 on a trade, it's not going to kill you. You're going to come back and fight another day. And so you should say to yourself, how many losing trades in a row could my, my trading system, withstand? And if you're trading 3-5% risk per trade, if you get a string of losing trades, 10 losing trades, you're going to lose half your account. Whereas if you risk 0.5% a trade, even if you had the worst outcome, 10 losing trades in a row, you would lose 5% of your account. Nothing. And you'd come back to fight another day. So I could lose 10 trades in a row, lose 5%. And on one trade like the NASDAQ a few weeks ago where I made, huge percent, I'd still be up, losing, 10 out of 11 trades. So it's all about risk management. Mustafa says, I'm long SQQQ. Should I stay? It's at a loss at the moment. So Mustafa, what I would do is just stick a sell stop under today's low and chuck it in if it takes it out. So we're hovering around today's low. Right now we're 1275 in the SQs. The low was 1271. I put a sell stop underneath there, 1268 or something, and then look for another trade. So Dusan says, what do you think about the Dow Jones? The Dow Jones is at a huge resistance level right now. It's going to be very interesting to see how we close today. So as I was telling, those on my webinar last night, for me, it's all about the close. Where does something close relative to the high and low for the day? And, this is, the Dow has been straight up. To my mind, there's no reason why it shouldn't keep going up. But, if we get what I call a key reversal where it makes a new high and closes on the low, I would take a look at that. So right now, the path of least resistance on the Dow is higher. So Val says, I placed a sell on the euro yen. So I think it's a little bit premature on the euro yen, but there's huge resistance here. And you may have just, got yourself into a good trade. So on the dailies, I don't really see a pattern. We definitely sold off. We made a new high, yesterday. We closed on the low. Today we're selling off, but, we're still within the cadence of this, huge uptrend. And I don't really see a pattern that would indicate a huge sell-off here. So it may just be consolidating at the, at the highs here between 129 and 130, but you're at a huge resistance level on the monthly and the weekly in the euro yen. And so I'm watching these things very closely to see if there's a turn, but I think it's still a little bit premature. So when I'm a little ambiguous or, unsure, really what for me, I just need to see more history. And then people are afraid, well, I'm going to miss the move or something. But I need to see a shape. I need to see every pattern, every big move begins with a pattern. Double top, inverted head and shoulders, what have you. And similarly, every down move, begins with a pattern too, a shape. Head and shoulders, a double top. And so I don't really see anything on the euro yen that would suggest that we're going to come off big. We came off now at a huge, inflection point, a huge resistance level. But I don't know if that's going to be enough to, metastasize into a huge down move. Now, this could be the beginning of something. This is why I watch the weekly charts. And just like the daily charts, I'll see how we close for the week. We're only on, at Tuesday. So I want to see how this weekly bar, forms. And, we did get turned back, rejected at a major area at 130. And if we reverse here and, close, very badly on the weekly bar, that could be enough for me to initiate a trade lower. But I just need to see a little bit more history. And I think it's a little bit premature right now to sell these yen trades. So Kirby said GameStop had a nice reversal. Yeah, yesterday it closed on the low. Today it gapped lower. It closed about 220. It went all the way to 172 today, and now it's trading about 200. So this thing is all over the place. It trades, $20 a half hour. So, I'm just hoping that it ends up under $100 at the end of the week. My options expire at the end of this week. So whatever's left on the table, I'll have to take, at that time. So, today's close should be very interesting because we took out a low about 4 days ago, this huge ranging bar. And, we bounced off that low. Let's see where we end up. Like I said, to me, it's all about the close on everything I look at. But to my mind, every price instrument is related to some kind of inherent underlying value. And when you see a stock like GameStop that went from $3 to $500 in a couple of weeks, then, gets, collapses back down to $40, and then it goes back to 400. To me, that makes no sense. There's a complete disconnect with any underlying value. I don't care if they change their business model. I don't care if they found a gold mine in Africa. Nothing in the price would substantiate that, change in valuation, where, GameStop went from almost zero, a negative cash flow company, to $24 billion market cap overnight. There's nothing on this planet that, justifies that kind of price behavior. And it was just on that instinct that I was going to stay out of the thing. And I got kind of pissed off because, price has to, have some kind of equation to its underlying value. And we saw a complete distortion in GameStop by virtue of just market manipulation, market mechanics, short covering. It had nothing to do with the value of the stock. And so to my mind, it's not a question of if, but when this thing just crashes down to, somewhere under $50 again. And, the problem with options is that, I have to be right and then be right now. So I've got till the end of the week. And we'll see how things, work out. But like I said, the way I did this was I bought deep in the money puts. So while I might not, make a whole lot, I'm probably not going to lose everything. I would have to, GameStop would have to go back up to $340 for me to lose all of my money. So, we'll kind of see how it's treading water right now at $200. And, let's see how we finish the day. But to my mind, there's a complete disconnect here. Stock should be at probably $10, and time will tell. New Inks Media wants to know about dollar Canadian. That's a very bearish trading pair, and we're sitting at the bottom of the range. So while the dollar has some support, it looks like it has almost very little support against the Canadian dollar. And this thing looks like it's going to leak lower. This has got a very bearish long-term double top, head and shoulders price patterns, which means that over the long term, this thing is going lower. And the price action and the media thing just, suggests that too. So we've got a bit of a narrow range bar on the weekly right here at about 124.5. We could go back to, 126, but I would just short any of the rallies. So, don't get out of your position if it goes up 80 pips. Actually, I would add to it. So, I'm not looking at palladium right now, Doosan, so I'm not going to offer any opinion on that. All right, guys. You're welcome, New Inks Media. You're welcome. Any other thoughts or questions? This is just, designed to be an informal get-together, chit-chat. If you would like to understand a little bit more about my trading methodology, how I got into the euro, why, the reasoning behind it, the price action, price patterns I was looking at, then I suggest you sign up for my live events that I'm doing all this week at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And all you have to do is go to thepatterntrader.com/live. So I don't know if I could put it somewhere in this chat box here. Let me see if I can write it. These are free sessions, should show up. All it costs you is your time. And so I put the link in the chat box there, and it's at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. San says, what are your thoughts on the best cryptocurrencies to invest at the moment? San, I don't really look that hard at it. I would just say, Bitcoin is at a moment of truth. We had one top about a week or so ago at 57. Then over the weekend, we eclipsed it. We made a new high at 61. Now, just like the euro, the tops don't have to be in the same place. But if you go through the neckline, which is the line that would be drawn through the last couple of weeks, around $50, $45,000, if it goes through there, then Bitcoin could have completed, an important top. So I know that's a a different trading instrument, but to my mind, all trading instruments adhere to the same kind of rules. And to my mind, Bitcoin is a bit like GameStop. It's a parabolic market. But everyone says, well, it's a different instrument, it's different this. And the thing about all of these markets in the moment of time, it's always different this time. So when things are happening and people are in the moment, there's always a rationale as to why this time or this thing is different than in past previous history. So time will tell. And if we kind of hold here and we consolidate at 55 and 60 and we keep moving sideways and go to new highs, then it'll keep going higher. But if we cross 50 or 45,000, you'll cross like a neckline. Then you'll have these double peaks up there, and then who knows what'll happen. Phil says, do any of your friends trade? Yes, they do. Thanks, Mustafa. I'll see you 8 p.m. UK time, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the US. All right, guys, I think I'm going to love and leave you there. If you would like to understand more of my thoughts about what's going on in the markets, check out the patterntrader.com/live. Go to the link, sign up, and I'll see you in a couple of hours. All right, guys, thanks a ton.